When I was 16, I decided to start following Christ. Saw that my life was full of emptiness, chasing after empty things, and I just heard the gospel, and Jesus was the only thing that could fill that emptiness that was in me. And so the first ever work I did about my faith was this painting of, it was supposed to be Jesus, but a very abstract illustration of Jesus, and his arms are outstretched and his head is down, and below are people rejoicing, and it's multicolored rainbow, just like covenant dancing abstract people. And on top are the stories of the sower and the seed. Seed that fell on good soil, seed that fell on rocky ground, the different kinds of seeds, and that's displayed on above him. From then on, I just had more of a purpose behind my work. I made a similar piece recently out of watercolors, wax, melted crayons on this canvas, and it was definitely a more defined, realistic image of Jesus on the cross. There weren't any dancing people. This was just Jesus being consumed by our sin, being consumed by the wrath of God on the cross. The above was charcoal, and I wanted to be like the wrath of God coming onto him, and our sins kind of entangling up onto the cross. Because he's taking our sins, he's also taking the punishment of God's wrath. But bursting forth is this light. Recently had coworkers over for dinner. I showed them this painting, and I got to explain the painting to them, like, this is Jesus on the cross taking our sins, and so that we can have life with God, and so I got to share the gospel with my coworkers, and they were just like, wow. And one of them who was just very far from God, very just like, that's great that you have that, but I'm okay here. He just flat out said, that's the truth. I try to put so much on myself and try to accomplish all these goals by myself. Like, I can do this. Like, I don't need help. I can do this. Like, but really, like, God gives us each other for a reason. And one of these wild dreams that I have for artists and community is to really make a community of artists that are committing their work to fighting injustice, and just creating a space for them to come together, to brainstorm, to be in residence together, and just come up with ways that they can use their artwork for good. So whether it's going to a local school or their kids at risk, coming up with different educational tools with their art, or whether it's helping women who are survivors of sex trafficking in other countries, how they can use their design skills to give them the materials they need. So I really feel that Jesus is calling us to be servants. Jesus was a servant, washing his disciples' feet, and just saying, I've come to serve the one who sent me. And so I feel that Jesus is like our example of how we can just create art that is serving others, helping others, whether it's serving your peer artists, or if it's serving the least of these, those trapped in slavery, or just those trapped in like depression on campuses. Like, Jesus totally is that model, and that's where the gospel message comes in, that we can do something about it because we have power in the gospel, we have power in the cross.